I'm the greatest. Who am I? I'm getting
Hello
paid.
and welcome to Toke and A Talk. Hello, Kendra. How are you tonight?
Hey, I'm good, Mandee. How are you?
I'm so excited and honored to be here always, and thrilled as usual to introduce our guest of the night. Tonight we have a beautiful, beautiful sister and friend. This is Thai, German Bay, Moorish American Moabitees. And she is an absolute amazing truth seeker and goddess and radical healer and nurturer and has so many things to share with us. And we are honored to hold space with you. How's it going, Ty?
It is going well. Peace and love to all. I appreciate that introduction. It was fabulous. I got to get used to that. This is my first time ever being on any podcast platform. So I'm very, very honored to be on here this evening. Thank you, ladies.
We are too. You are just so cool. And I've had the pleasure to get to know you recently in our community in Atlantic City because we've got all kinds of growth and things happening there and all kinds of different healing arts coming together. And I've had the pleasure of being able to spend some time with you. And as I've talked to you and got to know you, I've realized that we both share a love for Mama Canna as well as many, many other things. And I'm just so excited to toke and talk with you tonight.
Yeah, I'm excited about this platform as well because, Mama Canna is, as you like to call it, and I love that phrase, which I'm going to use now for probably like ever now. I love what she has just done for me. Just growing, period. I'm always in the dirt. I don't know if I should go into like spew into what I do, but
Sure, share as much or as little as you'd like. This is Toke and A Talk. We want to hear it all.
But I've been growing since I've been a seed pretty much. I currently right now I am an intern for crops. We are a community revolutionizing open public spaces. But I've been actually had a community garden in the Pleasantville area since 2015. And I partnered with crops to basically get my development in growing bigger, my knowledge, my education. So, for me, Mama Canna, I actually wasn't really, I guess I could start to say, kind of always been introduced to Mama Canna through hip hop, but it was crazy because during high school, I never smoked weed, but everybody that I was around, they always smoked it. It never was, something for me because my stigma was my family. We had a lot of drug and alcohol addiction. So for me, it was just, I wasn't going to do any drugs, any alcohol. That was just like forbidden for me. So, my experience, I just was like not for it. So
I shared that with you. I was like a DD a lot, but I was always around it and hanging and partying, but driving and stuff like that because I was kind of the same way. So I hold space with you on that.
Man, so it wasn't until an ex-boyfriend. He was a huge, pot smoker, but I never would smoke with him. And then one day, I won't forget it. We went over to one of his friend's house, and I sitting on the couch. He rolled a J. Of course, it was a Dutch Master at the time. That's what we were rolling back then, Dutch Masters. And back then, I think the stuff for us was chocolate Thai out of all names.
Sounds divine.
Chocolate Thai. I do remember that. And we smoked, and all I just remember is being stuck to the chair and like just sitting in the chair and not being able to move from the chair, get up from the chair. Like I was just stuck to the chair. And that was like my first actual, like, first experience And then, this was like after I'm getting out of high school, I moved in, got my own apartment, me and my homegirls, we always threw parties every week we threw parties. This one particular week we throw a party and everybody, from high school, is there, at the crib and, we're drinking. And then, the next thing you know, I decide to smoke. And I think that for me was like an out of body experience because I literally in that moment, like I can remember like talking to a friend of mine, asking him like, can he help me? But he was saying that, like I was okay. I was telling him that I was okay, but I know in my mind, I was not okay. All right.
Oh.
So everybody was totally fucking wasted at the fucking party. Okay, just to say the least. So here I am, I'm fucking going out of my mind because here's my first experience of the combination of the marijuana and the alcohol. And all I know is I got one of the friends to get up and pray over me, and the next thing you know, I threw up, and then like everything was good. Right. So that was kind of like an awkward experience, but I, through the years, you know what I mean? I had moved to like Miami at one point because I was partying so much. I said, fuck it, I'm just going to move to Miami. I moved to Miami. So, I go down to Miami, and Miami is like, to me, drug capital of the world. You know what I mean? So I'm out there, partying with friends, befriending, people out there. And I'm so thankful when I think about it now. The people that I befriended down there, they actually protected me away from a lot of the hardcore shit that was going on down there because of how they seen how I just vibed off of the energy from alcohol and marijuana. They said, girl, you don't even need nothing else. Like you just need to just stay on that vibe and you don't need anything else. So like, my experience with down there, like I was just like, all right, cool. And then, throughout the years, you get around a certain around individuals around the, back in the day, you didn't want to, it was a stigma, you know what I mean? Especially for women, like to smoke marijuana. Like it wasn't like the thing for the girl to be seen, smoking marijuana. But for me, like I feel like I didn't give a fuck. Like this was my Mama Canna. Mama Canna was my thing to me. So like I could care less about, what people thought. And then, just later on, I just started really educating myself about it, and then, realizing that, it really was a healing herb and it wasn't something to be criminalized or you to be even thought of it to be you to be a criminal, to, just, grow it, ingest it or anything like that. Then, the older I got, the more I started realizing, okay, now, like it's a thing of, they're infringing on your rights now. You know what I mean? Because, like it's to me, it's just like growing oregano. So you're going to tell me, you're going to regulate oregano, sooner or later. So I started asking questions, you know what I mean? Like, how can, people, regulate over the free person, the free body, the human being, and that's where I'm at with it now. I'm studying more on how to protect my rights and the right of the nature. Like it really boils down to that. You want to protect human nature, you want to protect human rights. And I'm at that brink. I'm studying that now. So
I'm so grateful you're doing that.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, guess what? This is what Mama Canna led me to. So I gotta thank Mama Canna for that. Let me get my lighter and light up Mama Canna for that.
Light up Mama Canna for that.
Yeah, we do. We really gotta light up
Oh.
Mama Canada.
And honestly, Kendra, you'll probably jam with me on this too, because I live on a small island in Jersey, Brigantine, and Kendra grew up here too. And you drive over the island, you drive onto it, and there is just hardly any natural wildlife space left. And there is a little bit in certain areas, but there's even just like a few lots as soon as you cross the bridge, and they're trying to develop it. And it just makes me so sad. And like, there's so many like, terrapins that cross here, and there's so much like wildlife, and there's all these beautiful plants that want to grow that are native to these islands and are incredible and healing and wonderful. And it makes me sad, because I'd like to see some of that come back, to the islands and inland. For sure, it is inland more. We are the Garden State, the Garden State for a reason. And I just love that you're advocating for nature, because it makes me really sad to see her so overdeveloped. And I got to spend some time in Florida too, and I felt the same way. It was just, there was so much there and nobody speaking for the earth.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there were, but it's harder to see the people speaking for it than, the construction going up.
Yeah.
So
it's everywhere.
I am actually on the wildlife refuge panel. They just
cool.
They actually just started a panel up. They're trying to get a group of individuals from around the area. I actually included you ladies from the Sea Goddess Healing Arts. If you ladies aren't doing anything this Sunday, I believe, they're actually inviting people from the community to come out to the wildlife refuge to look at it, give feedback, because they want more. They actually are asking for people in the area demographic of Atlantic City, Egg Harbor Township, and Pleasantville area to give feedback as to how to get more people involved with the wildlife refuge.
Wow.
So I definitely put you ladies on the contact list, because I know how much we care about Earth and Mama Canna. So if you ladies aren't doing anything this Sunday, I would definitely send you information and would invite you ladies to come out, because like you speak on it. I don't think enough of us know, because of our lack of knowledge, the importance of nature, period. There's so much misinformation that has been given to us throughout time. For me right now, what I tell everybody, I feel like I'm going through an exorcism. That's what I'm pretty much doing in my life right now. So it's a learning experience. But I think if we as humanity start to look at the importance of bridging a gap, and if it could be through, a simple plant, recognizing that, it has so many healing properties, it really should, nothing really should be commercialized. That's a big problem that I'm fighting with right now, because I'm finding that commerce has really destroyed humanity. And I'm trying to figure out, my place with that. You know what I mean? Because that in itself, I could go deeper and divulge into that. But it's like when you do start actually opening your mind and actually asking questions, you do start to open up a rabbit hole. Yeah. But that rabbit hole is a good rabbit hole if you know how beneficial it can be if you are a truth seeker, because with that truth, it will get you through the realm. It will get you through walking through the soul plane, knowing, you know what I mean, what you're supposed to be doing in life, so and mind you, all of these things I think come from me smoking bud, you know what I mean? Like
Montana. Yeah.
For me, once again, I look at it as a healing property. For me, it for marijuana, for me, it soothes my anxiety. For me, and I know for a lot of people, like I just told you, if I'm going through an exorcism, God damn it, I need some easing, okay? You know what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying? So, you need. We are dealing with a lot, okay? And I don't think we realize it because we're being lied to on a daily basis. Here we are, we're being lied to, believe that marijuana or cannabis is dope. You know what I mean? Like that always used to confuse me because, like, when we heard the lingo and they would say dope, and I'm like, dope. Like I would think of dope as heroin. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't think of dope as, marijuana, but they put so many, denotative and misnomers on, cannabis alone. That's what I'm saying. Like for me, I'm trying to even learn, how to properly use the herb, properly. But I know if I learn the law, from learning the law, I can learn how to apply it properly. So that's what I'm kind of like doing. I'm studying the law and how it applies to me, because I feel like our rights are definitely being infringed upon, especially right now. We're living in, where times where it is kind of weird, because it's like the people that I'm around, they don't get it, but then it's just like it's not for them to get. It's for me to understand. So because this is my journey.
Did you read this?
I have not.
I need your address. I'm sending this to you for Christmas.
Oh, thank you. The Emperor wears no clothes.
Yeah, this is Jack Herrera and all of his studies and all the history of legalization of marijuana. Man, this shit is the bomb. I buy books like crazy. I read 5 pages and I give them away.
Yeah, but that's how it's supposed to be. But we're all supposed to have libraries.
There's so much knowledge in here, but like my journey with Mama Canna, it's not this. It never was. For me, I'm very creative, I think, and I'm quick. So like I'm more like of a visual person. If you make me read, dude, I'm like snoring. I have the attention span of a fucking squirrel.
I'm with you, girl.
But I feel like you're getting this for Christmas, so I need your address.
Hey, I appreciate all the knowledge, because that's how it's supposed to be. We're supposed to have libraries and exchange the knowledge within each other so we can help each other. That's how it's actually supposed to be. Like that's why I tell everybody what I'm doing right now is a humanitarian effort. You know what I mean? Everything that I do in the walk that I'm doing, I look at it to bridge the gap to humanity, and I'm in the garden now. I manifested in the next two to 3 years, I will have a farm. And hopefully within that, I trust within that farm, I'll have some cannabis growing, because, I'm growing it now. Like I harvested some of my babies today.
What?
Okay. So
Awesome.
I got a whole gang of stuff,
Will that be ready by Christmas?
Yes, well, see the thing. Okay, so let's talk about growing, ladies.
I was gonna say,
I know you gotta try it.
So,
yeah, give us a lesson, please, Mama.
I know you gotta dry it.
Now, mind you, with this particular plant that I had, this was given to me by my ex, because he believes now, since I have shown him something, he can do it too. But I told him prior to growing. Now, this is very important, ladies. When you're growing, now, I haven't mastered the method of picking out the seed to figure out whether it's male or female, because being male or female is very important when growing cannabis. The females are the ones that we want. We admire the female, the goddess, because that's who she is. Now, the male, I don't want to see, I never want to be the one to, discredit the male, because everyone would say, oh, the male's not worth anything, get rid of them, da 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 da. because the male can tend to reproduce, have the woman, the plant produce, and you don't want the female to produce because it will produce seeds and not buds. So when you get a male plant, if you happen to prior when you start growing, I typically start off with the seed. I put it in a paper towel. I wet the paper towel. I put the paper towel in a plastic bag. I put the plastic bag in a window, and make sure that the window gets enough light. I want to say at least 8 hours of light, but right now we're in the later hours of the season, so you won't get as much light around this time. So I would recommend you particularly start your growing around April. That's what I'm averaging off now for the past 2 years. Start your seedlings off around April. Now, come April, if within 3 to 4 days, you should start see your seed to germinate. Once you see your seed to germinate, you'll see your seedling coming out. You want to place the seedling as you see the root of it actually coming out. You'll see it coming out. You want to put the root of it in the dirt, and the seed part actually sticking up. All right. Make sure you cover it and you have a good base, like soil base. And you just watch it over the time. Now, I want to say from that time that you start, like I said, it takes about 3 to 4 days for it to germinate. From the time you want to put it into the dirt, or you could either keep it in water too. I've seen people do that, but I haven't tried that method because the dirt works pretty well for me. And I would say when you do your seedlings, do at least, if you have a lot of seedlings, I would at least do 5, because you want to, it may not, who knows, you know what I mean? Like out of that 5, you may get 1, 2, 3, 4, you may get 5, who knows? But so once you do all of that, you put it in the dirt. I want to say within like 2 to 3 weeks, you should start seeing the actual plant actually grow.
Wow.
And this is where it gets tricky. You want to switch your potting, because from that's why I mentioned you at least need like a 5-gallon pot to start off with, because I recognize when growing, it can stunt the growth depending on the base, like the size of the gallons that you have. Okay. So after that, you want to make sure you got a good like a 5 to 10 gallon base. Like I said, start in April. Come May, like I said, that's when your plant should be big. Now the weather should start turning, but to be honest with you, the weather in our area for the past 5 years has been turning tropical, which I love. We're getting back to our Atlantean ways. But that's why I said, so May it'll start getting like warm. You get it up, then the next thing you know, you'll start seeing a plant start budding like this. But what I was going to mention, the problem with the male can reproduce on the female plant, and the female plant then produces seeds, and the plant is just really, really good just for the seed itself, not for the bud itself. So that's what happens.
When I put those 5 seeds in the dirt, it's gonna grow, and I'm gonna figure out at that point if it's a male or a female. It's either gonna flower or it's not.
So with that process, I totally forgot that. My bad. Now with that process, when it starts,
we're talking and talking. Yeah. We're doing it all.
I know that's right. So now when that happens, this is how you can determine if the plant is male or female. from the female plant, you can automatically tell it will start growing white hairs from it. You'll start seeing little white hairs come from each of the plant. That's how you know it's a female. Now, male will start growing like little sacs, like little ball sacks.
Wow.
So if you see the little ball sacks, you want to get rid of the male.
Okay.
Because your whole purpose is to get the plant to bud.
So you mean like rip him out? When you say get rid of him, like rip him out and he's done.
Once you find out that it's a male.
Can you juice him and drink his leaves?
Yeah, can we juice him? Can we grow him for hemp? Can we?
All right, so I believe you can. I haven't, my studies, I have not gotten to that. I'm still researching that because right now, the thing, everybody wants to state that, the male is not worth anything. You know what I mean? But I don't want to believe that. I know, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, damn, they even giving them a bad rap. They even giving them a bad rap in there.
Not true. Wouldn't exist.
How bad
you know what? And that's a big part of what we talk about at Sea Goddess Healing Arts all the time as we're changing and we're coming into this beautiful new earth. Like, it's about finding balance between the divine masculine and the divine feminine.
Exactly.
And, I do believe Mama Canna is a very feminine energy and she's rocked me and helped me and nurtured me and healed me. But who's been holding her? And there's a reason for that. And there's a reason that it exists. And so if you know the answer to this, please email us. Or if you want to be a guest on this show and school us and tell us all about it, we'd love that. But there's got to be, because hemp grows, so quickly and cannabis grows so quickly. And there's so many uses that if that plant keeps growing, there's got to be something amazing we can do with it.
Yeah,
sisters, like I can tell you exactly what to do with it. So
it has to have some benefit to it. So I'm just saying, you try to give the male. You gotta look out for our males. They don't know no better. It's just how they are. But you gotta look out for them. So that's what I'm gonna try to do. I'm doing my best. And like she said, if anybody got a
you
good
see little sacks, throw it in the trash. Keep going. You gotta get some.
Well,
trichomes.
Yeah, I'm telling you, because right now, that's not going to be good for your yield, because pretty much you'll just have nothing but a bunch of seeds. But I will tell you today, I did make a tea from it. I figured, let me see, if I can make a tea from it. So
did you use coconut oil for your fat?
No, I just boiled it in water.
Okay, you didn't add
any
fat?
I do.
Yeah, I just boiled it in the water and added some honey and lemon to it.
Okay. Yeah, if you add fat, it activates it, and it's nice.
Oh, okay. See, we learn something every day. I will try that now.
It doesn't taste like the best because it's like oily, but I forget. Like I'm totally drawing a blank right now. Why you need the fat and how it activates the THC.
What if I use coconut sugar?
I think you need oil. You need a fat.
Okay.
I know. I drank some of that on the beach and it felt good.
Mandee, we got toe up from the flip flop up.
It changes it. It changes it. That's all I'll say. So have fun with that. Dabble as you will.
Yeah, so I made a little tea from it, and the tea it was good. I'm an herbalist, and I'm getting into.
I like the taste of it. I enjoy it. Yeah. Like I buy a lot of oil where I'm at now in Tennessee. I buy this cannabis oil that's legal here. There's THC in it, but it's pretty nice. Lot of CBD and CBG. I don't think I have Delta 8 oil, but Delta 8 flour is big where I'm at. So I've been trying all these things. I just go in the store, I buy them. Some things look like chocolate, some look like brownies, some you can drink. So it's very interesting to me. It's been breaking down the plant more for me. It's like I'm forced now to be curious and ask questions because I'm not just walking into a dispensary in New Jersey medically and just knowing what worked and what I liked and how much I could do without getting, into trouble. Like when I first started experimenting with it, I had 7 years of sobriety off marijuana when I went back to it for medical reasons. And it was so awesome, like, because for one, the paranoia was gone of like being afraid you were going to get busted with a $10 sack of shit and get in trouble for it, and I'm a mom, like, it just fell away from me for a while, and I needed that for like my own sobriety
Mhm.
to go come back to it and respect it as a plant, as Mama Canna. And I feel like I was relating to what you were talking about earlier about how, like, what I feel like is as soon as I started using it medicinally, I became more organic as a person, and I was paying more attention to fruits and vegetables and vegan, raw. Like, my mind went there, where when I was stuffing all these white pills in my mouth for pain and everything that I was dealing with, and anxiety and all this crazy shit, that the cocktail of medications that I was on, like, I
Mhm.
think about that and I'm just like, it if you are able to use this herb for medical conditions, for anything, for any fucking reason, even if you don't have one diagnosis, you should be allowed to use this plant. But when I was looking at it medicinally, um it changed the
Yeah.
whole game. I respected it so much, and
Yeah.
the only natural course would be to want to know how to fucking grow it yourself. That's my
Yeah.
dream. My dream is to live
Yeah.
somewhere that I can grow it and not be worried that I'm going to get in trouble.
Well,
And
guess what, girl? We gonna make it happen, okay?
yeah,
It's
yeah,
gonna come true. Let
it's
me tell you that,
like,
and I guess I am here to be like, fuck that shit. Like, it's a herb. Like, I'm like the ride or die. Like that's my spirit. Like, I am a warrior spirit. Okay, I've always been like that. I remember one time, like, the freaking policy enforcers. Like, I watched them. I watched these policy enforcers look me down, right? And they pulled me over. And mind you, the car smelled like hella weed. Hella weed. I didn't give a fuck. I said, I watched you over there. Watch me, okay? I said, what are you stopping me for? Oh, we're looking for somebody. I said, well, I'm not the one that you're looking for, okay? And I pull off, okay? Like, I don't know for the life of me, like, how that goes down, like, with me, like, how I get away with shit like that, but I did, you know what I mean? Because I guess that's just the spirit in me, you know what I mean?
I
Because
say
I'm
it
just
sounds like
like,
you're divinely protected.
yeah,
I no, no, and ultimately I am, because, like, I hear other people's stories, and it really is fucked up when you hear people who actually lost their lives because they've been criminalized for
yeah,
this herb. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like, it really
yeah,
is saddening when you hear, you know what I mean, certain people's
Fucked
situations,
up.
and me, like like I said, like, I grew up around it. So, like, for me, like, everywhere I went, like, it was just like, it was never an issue for me. You know what I mean? Like, I never, like, you know, probably I can say, probably if I was hanging around a group of people at one point when I didn't really know myself, I probably was looking down at people who were smoking it. But, like, that probably when I was like younger. But, like, when I as time developed and I went through my experiences, it's just like, you know what I mean? What the fuck is the matter with everybody? There's a fucking plant. like this really is just like, if I took some oregano, rolled this shit up in some shit and smoked it, it'd be the same fucking thing. But
yeah.
because we're putting so much energy into the wrong thing, this is why, you know what I mean? Like, we're running rampant. You know what I mean? Like, I know for a fact, because we're miseducated on a lot of things. Um, this
Mhm.
is why it gets a bad rap.
Yeah.
But like you said, I'm we're all we need to do is just grab a hold and teach and educate each other on how to protect our rights. You know what I mean? And, this situation that we're going through will be over in like a breakfast fight, as our prophet likes to say it, because, it ultimately just has everything to do with knowing the law, and knowing how it applies to you and how to actually access it. You have to, access your rights. You know what I mean? You have to enforce them. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? They're there for a reason. That's why they actually are, um, taking advantage of us, because, ignorance of the law is no excuse. They they really put it out, like, because like how we can sit up here and have this whole long talk about a herb and a plant, like that's simply what it is. But if you sit and you're scared, you know what I mean, about this herb that you know that you want to grow, that's the energy that you're gonna, bring towards you. So we need to start learning that there is remedy, what I mean, out here for us to protect ourselves, what I mean, and it does start with the law. I was trying to, be, all ready for the interview because I wanted to also point out in the United the rights of the indigenous people.
Yes, we love that.
Yeah, if you look at that, I believe it's 15. It talks about, just, having the right to just access, natural plant life. You know what I mean? Like that should be, and what is natural plant life? Canna, mama canna. That's natural plant life. And we as human beings should be able to have access to that. You know what I mean? And if it helps us medicinally, because there's so many other herbs that they don't tell us about. There's so many other just things that they don't let us know. I'm telling you, like, that's why I'm telling you, it's like a shitstorm going in my head, because sometimes when I'm talking, like, I don't even know where to start.
Yeah,
You
well,
know
I'm
what I
just
mean?
jamming with you. I love it all. And I'm just so grateful. And it's like, there is no reason for anybody to be starving in this world with the amount of fertile soil
Hello.
and seeds we have. Every time you cut a lemon, you have like 80 potential lemon seed, like trees. Like it's insane. Like peppers, same thing, all this stuff. And I'm just dreaming up because we get to co-create in this, beautiful community we're helping to respark and rebuild and re-honor. So I just can't wait to see what it looks like, but I'm riding that train with you hard, and I love that you're sharing all of this with us and our listeners.
Yeah, I'm glad that I could provide that. You know what I mean? Like that was where my for me, my journey starts in with the land. It's that's why I'm outgrowing, fresh produce, you know what I mean, for people in our community. And here it is, I manifested and had a farm to table event this year, you know what I mean? And I manifested that, last year, so it's like, every I know everything's gonna happen. It's just in due time. You know what I mean? Everybody uniting on one front, on a holistic journey for everybody to see, that this herb right here, the sweetest chiba that I love so much. It really just puts everybody in just one perspective. You know what I mean? And that's all for us to unite. You know what I mean? It's just like that. Bob Marley made it very simple to us. You know what I mean? Like, come on.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. Awesome. Now,
Mm.
can you tell me again about the wild refuge? What are they doing again? They're trying to get more visitors, or they're trying to raise money.
they're trying to get more people from the demographic of the Atlantic City, Egg Harbor City, and Pleasantville area to visit the
Okay,
wildlife refuge.
got it.
And they're trying to get, organizations who will want to be involved, and, just seeing, the wildlife refuge grow, how it can protect the people, and also, the land, the surrounding land. They just want input. And I think that is important that, if I can let you guys in on this, panel where you can give your input, like, why not? You know what I mean? Because once again, it's a humanitarian effort that we're trying to, all get everybody on one accord to, better human nature. You know what I mean? So, like I said, I'll send you the information. And I do know December the 12th, they are having where they're inviting, people to come out and visit. Because I just read in the email today, that they're gonna invite people to come out and see what the route, see what it all, already has, and
Right.
basically, get feedback, because, one of the things that, like, I just like to sit and listen to what they actually got to say, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And
Yeah.
because, like, eventually, like, I like to hear, like, okay, where are you guys going with, where do you potentially see, you know what I mean, the wildlife refuge, you know what I mean? I'm glad that I'm glad that they can include, you know what I mean, you know, people on the panel, so we do, if have a voice, we can actually speak up and say something in regards to, something that, maybe possibly that we feel would better, the environment.
Yeah.
Because I think, for one thing that I see is, educational classes on teaching people the benefits of cannabis. You know what I mean? Just in that in general, and try to get away from that stigma that they have placed upon. You know what I mean? The 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 herb. And one thing I think we should really pay attention to is the fact that they're trying to commercialize off of this herb. And here there were people who went and did time, like serious time,
Yes.
behind, you know what I mean, this same herb. So, like, I mean, just in common sense, you know what I mean? Like, that's what makes me be like, man, fuck that. You know what I mean? Like, something ain't right. Okay. Like that's why, like, for me, I'm willing to do the ride and die and the due diligence, because I don't want anybody to have to go through, you know what I mean? Like, the freaking, travesties that we're witnessing today.
Yeah.
And it's a violation of our rights. And even that in itself is trying to hard to explain to people. You know what I mean? Just even with the simple, when the whole pandemic started, you know what I mean? Like, when that started, and this is my experience, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to offend anybody, because I understand people, they went through their own experiences. But my whole thing with that was a fear pumper. Like, I knew that from the beginning. Now, mind you, through the whole pandemic, I worked in the restaurant industry. And the restaurant industry for me only shut down for 1 month, one whole month. And for that one whole month, when we opened back up, we had lines galore out the door. I mean, people were waiting to get into this establishment. And what would bug me out even more is the people who would come out to eat would have their mask on and would come and dine and sit. And mind you, I would have my mask around my mouth, but not around my nose. And they would get offended because they would ask me to pull my mask up, or they would get offended that I had it down. And my whole thing, like, common sense. Then why'd you come out? If you felt any kind of way of catching any kind of thing, like, for me, like, if I'm thinking there's a freaking pandemic out there, like, I'm not gonna risk my life to go out and have some freaking fried fucking chicken. I'm just sorry. Like, that's just not me. I'm not gonna risk my life to have some mac and cheese and all this other kind of bullshit if I know that is a fucking deadly fucking virus going on. But mind you, through all of that, I experienced working with people who caught the so-called, first it was coronavirus, then it was corona, then it was COVID, then it was COVID-19. I don't know how many names it went through the development of the time that has been done, because now they got to, like, so many variants now that I can't even keep up. So um it was just like, to me right now, like, even when that happened, it was like a good thing, because it was just like, yo, y'all, nobody's using common sense.
Yes.
Like, for real, like, we
Yeah.
really, like, are, like,
But I'm
nobody's
saying,
actually
sister.
using brain.
I
Because
brought this up a few weeks ago. I said it's common sense. It's gone.
I was gonna
Like,
say, we've
get
heard this,
a little
haven't
bit
we?
of it.
Haven't
When
we?
you get a little bit of it in validation and people are starting to get common sense again, you're like, bravo, motherfucker. We're getting
yo, like, and the thing about it is, it's like, you know how they say common sense is a lost art? What I've realized and I'm studying now, common sense has to do with common law. And they got us away from learning the common law. So that's why we don't, it's like when we get into certain situations, we don't know how to handle them because there is a remedy there for us, but we don't know how to handle it because we're not taught. Because what we're really taught is how to be working slaves.
Yeah.
That's
I
really
honor
how
that.
that's what we're supposed. That's how we're taught. We're not taught how to just be a human being and actually know how to protect yourself when you're being violated. Because honestly, that's what the Constitution is actually there for. Is actually to protect you against these,
Hires that be
I
created
mean,
program. Well,
I mean, no. They have names.
I don't
They
even know the
really
names
have
of them.
names. Like they're called They're called tort feasors. You know what I mean? Like they have lawful names. But that's what I'm saying. These are the things like I'm learning. You know what I mean? Like one of the things that one main thing I did was I corrected my status. And when I came into, this knowledge, like the thing for me was like there's no way that they're going to continue to, degrade my ancestors and have me do it right in their face, because that's pretty much what our people have been doing. We haven't been honoring our foremothers and our forefathers, and this is why we've been getting disrespected. So, like that's why I'm, in that point where I'm learning, my Moorish heritage. I'm learning, I'm learning the law because that's how we get through it. And it's crazy because the whole the whole principles we stand upon are five, which are love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And we want to uplift all in humanity. So, you know what I mean? Like, there was no way that, you couldn't tell me with this after learning that I've been programmed to be, a working slave. Like, now I'm in the process of deprogramming myself, so I'm coming out of that, matrix, and I'm understanding like how Mama Canna is aiding me and assisting me in that. And I thank her for that. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to keep having, this bad stigma on a herb. You know what I mean? This is what our ancestors, gave to us to honor, and that's what we should do. So that's what I'm doing my best to do.
I honor you, and I'm glad you're on this journey and learning all of this and can share it and help us to remember and to honor, those that came before us. And there were certain things there to help protect us. And there are these certain laws and energies and frequencies and, in this current civilization and universally that really guide us all along with our moral compass. And it's really not that hard. And it's about getting back to true community and village and what that looks like. And you were saying just so beautifully earlier, it's about, we aren't being taught, we're just being programmed. So then I think Mama Canna really assists many people in zooming out and shifting that perspective and being able to gain some consciousness and some clarity about where maybe you have been programmed and where maybe you can unschool yourself a little bit and reprogram or look at things from a different perspective. Like if anything that you've been sharing, like so many amazing things, but you've been able to really zoom out and take a look at some stuff to really help find and seek the truth to help others. And like, what an honorable thing, sister. Thank you.
Hey, gotta thank the universe for that, right? Gotta thank the universe for that. That's nothing but the universe, just placing me on my journey right now. So I actually, like that's why I knew, like even when I met you ladies, like I just knew, like, oh, the universe is working again, and it's just like just throwing me so many, beautiful, messages, right now, because this is a beautiful thing that, like we as women can come on a platform and express ourselves and, talk about, the importance of, what mother nature can provide for us. Because ultimately that's what we're on this platform talking about. You know what I mean? Like, and it ultimately, it speaks to that, how we need to honor, mother, and it automatically gets back to that. That's why I love when you you perfectly stated as, Mama Canna, because it ultimately is that, we all are seeds from mother. So we have to honor that, and what other way, what not other way, a better way to honor that is to, respect, you know what I mean, the law that's been laid down by us. So, and that's the thing, like that's the thing. I'm learning. It's a journey because the deprogramming is real. That
Yeah,
deprogramming is real.
that's the work. Oof.
Like that is.
I got a quick question. I have this seed with this like sproutling coming out of it, and I'm sticking it in the 5-gallon bucket of beautiful dirt.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just gonna put it in the sunlight, and I'm just gonna let it grow in my house in my window.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Well,
can I move it
That's the
outside?
question.
Well, that in itself, that in itself, you want to create the marijuana plant loves a very warm environment. Okay, so it like I haven't gotten to like I couldn't give you the ideal way to grow it indoors because I haven't done that yet. Because with the indoor growing, there's like quality of lighting. There's different types of fertilizer people use. And there's a lot of other equipment that's involved. I'm very natural. I'm very holistic.
But I'm saying I could just put it outside.
So just put it outside. So if it's, like I said, I would start your seedling around April. Around May, you should have a plant. You put your plant in your 5-gallon bucket. If it's night, by the time it should be nice outside, just keep it outside. And then that whole time, because you see how long it's going to be, I'm going to tell you, it's going to be 60 degrees.
Do I have to water it a lot?
Yeah, you do have to keep your plant watered. And I will also recommend fertilizer. The fertilizer that I use was a organic bone meal because it really gives the plant a really good bud. Like it buds like crazy with a good fertilizer. But mind you, this was my second year of growing, and I can show y'all pictures. I wish I knew how to like put pictures up on the Zoom, but I was proud with my little two plants that I produced. But I realized if you grow it properly, you can yield a whole lot more than what I did. But it's a learning process for me. So but like I said, once you get it in your bucket, get it outside, make sure you water it, make sure you fertilize it, and just keep a good lookout on your plant. Watch it like it's your baby. You know what I mean? That's Mama Canna. So you gotta, take care of it and watch her. And then, and that's ultimately like with anything, you take care of it, it'll take care of you. So like, you'll see it start butting up, and then the next day you'll get so excited, you'll be ready to like harvest it. But you want to wait, because when the harvest part comes and you start seeing your good buds and you start seeing your white hairs, you want to at least wait until your plant is 70% of the white hairs turn brown.
Okay.
And then once the plant is like at least 70% of which the white hairs have turned brown, then you can start harvesting it. I harvested mine in the garage, and it turned out okay.
You just literally you cut it, right? And you hang it like upside down and let it dry?
I just cut it. I hung it up on some string, like some yarn, like thread. Thread. I just hung it up with some thread in the hanger. Hung it up in the garage. And then
on like clothespins on hangers and put it in a nice, like warm, chill, dry closet.
Yep, you could do that too. I didn't have the clothespins. I was looking for them. I just improvised. You know how you do, just improvise.
I dry all
And
my other herbs with like hair ties because I try all kinds of herbs and I use like hair ties. I use whatever I got around and just hang it.
yeah,
How long does it take to dry?
about 7 days. About
Nice.
7 days. And then the thing about it is the trim is really kind of difficult, which I'm realizing. When you do trim, you do have to trim off a lot of the leaf. And of
Okay.
course, you can always use the leaf now. You can use the leaf for like a can of oil, a can of butter. I have
Juice
done
it,
that
right?
for, which is really cool, and it's not hard. It's not hard to make. But the trimming of the buds is really meticulous because you want to make sure you get enough where you get the bud, and then the curing process is what I'm finding kind of difficult too, because
Got it.
with the curing process, I have my mason jar, but I'm finding the curing process, if not done properly, can mess up the potency of your bud. So, you do want to watch that because the temperature, the humidity, all the environment plays a very huge part in the potency of the bud. But the joy that you get of growing your own shit is more like exciting than like even like
Awesome.
smoking the shit. Like
Yeah.
me watching it grow, like I was like, oh shit, I'm about to have a whole fucking farm. Like, you just get like it's souped up, like it's about to go down. So, like, it's a process. And like I said, now that I know that I have the law behind me, and like I understand that it's an herb, and that's exactly what it is. Like I don't give a fuck. Like that's what I'm gonna grow it just like I'm growing every other arugula, the radishes, the collard greens, everything else that I'm growing at the garden. It's no different than that. Because even with food, they try to regulate food. You know what I mean? Like there's certain people who can't grow food in their own yards, in their own property, because I understand that they have there's a silent war going on, and the masses need to wake up to it. And that's why I said, like, I could go into the rabbit hole because everything is a part of the whole. But once we realize that there's a silent war and we do have remedy and we can fight against it, we'll get through this. We'll get through this.
That was the only thing that scared me through the past couple years is when they stopped selling, they shut down like agricultural stores and sections and weren't letting people buy seeds and stuff in like March when people were needing them, in April and things like that. And that's been like the only time I got real like annoyed.
Was this with COVID?
Mm-hmm.
Man. Well,
Yep.
see, that's why I said the whole pandemic is a whole thing to set everybody up. You know what I mean? Like, so people got to be prepared. You know what I mean? Grow your own shit. That's why I'm out in the yard by myself. Like, look, I don't even care. Like, whatever they doing, that's what they doing. But you know what? I'm gonna start doing what I need to do.
I was like, well, I'm gonna grow food then. So I have like
you.
a tiny little yard that I've got smart pots everywhere. I've got this and that, and like anything I could learn how to grow, I did. So I was right there with you.
I want to congratulate you, sis.
Yeah.
You got smart, okay? Because
and that's
like
why I have seeds. I have a whole box of seeds because I'm like, that's what I can invest in right now. That's what I can contribute to the island if shit goes down. Like, I'm just gonna learn how to grow stuff, and maybe I'll start a little front yard, like I don't even know, a little front yard like farm stand, and fuck it. And I need these teas for me for healing because I drink fresh thyme tea every day and oregano tea and all this shit that's been helping me heal for years. And I was like, I can't have that going away. Like, I need that.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. Like, you got to protect yourself. And that's why, like, for me, like, that's why it was imperative for me to hook up with Paige and them, because it made so much sense. Those women over there, they know that, we're going to revolutionize open spaces. Okay. Because those open spaces belong to the people. The people just have to recognize, like, listen, certain people can't have authority over you. They can only have authority over you if you allow them. That's the only way they can have authority over you. But if you take the power to take it amongst your own hands, that's your power. You keep that, and I don't think most of us know that, because once again, we've been programmed to think, oh, well, master said if you do this, this is what master says is going to happen to you. If you don't do this, master, well, listen, you know what I mean? Like, I'm willing to have that sacrifice. You know what I mean? I'm willing to go against master. If master got something to say, let's do this.
Not my first timer rodeo.
Okay. All right. So, like we just gotta, get it together where we understand, like, we hold the power within ourselves, and I think, with that, the natural healing from anything, because I'm even finding even right now with mushrooms. Mushrooms are like another thing that I'm getting into now. And the healing properties that I see from mushrooms, like, it's just amazing, like, and just to know that this fungus that's just growing out here on this tree, you know what I mean?
Mechanics, people.
Okay, so it's an amazing experience. So.
Yeah, I never liked eating mushrooms, and all of a sudden I'm just starting to buy all these different mushrooms and just saute them and eat them for no fucking reason.
Aren't they good though?
I do. Now I'm like enjoying them because like I don't know, like I'm a person, like I would eat dirt if you let me. Like I like really earthy stuff. Like I like, like I love beets, I love kale. Like people are just like, what? And it's weird. Like, but I do. Like I remember, like one of my most favorite smells is grass,
Yeah.
And I do love hemp and marijuana. Like I love it. The taste of it. So
mushrooms are very healing.
But yeah, mushrooms are very earthy. So I'm like, of course, like this is like, and I don't know. It's very cool. It's definitely interesting.
Yeah,
let's Mama Mushroom call you now.
Listen, that's what I'm saying. I'm gonna have that too. Like I said, it's so much. See, that's what I love about that. And that's what I love about that. You know what I mean? The fact that, stuff like this, nature is just a healer. And that's why, like, I envision my farm with every possible healing property possible.
Dude, I cannot wait to come visit you on your fucking farm, girl.
I can't wait, either. I can't wait.
Yeah. So that's awesome. You can do it. You're totally gonna do it.
I can't wait. And then, like, from the years from now, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna just tell y'all, come get this abundance of everything that I got. Because, like you said, when you start growing stuff, you have so much. You just want to give it away. You know what I mean? That's why like you said, it just, common sense is just so crazy, because it just makes common sense for you to grow your own stuff, because you'll have so much of an abundance. They've gotten us so far away from that practice of even trying to grow our own stuff, because that's why I know now when the pandemic happened, it's like, okay, it's time for us to start producing. It's time for us to become more self-sufficient.
Yeah.
It's time for us to start acknowledging that, for a very long time, we have been under a construct that wasn't conducive to our human nature.
Yeah, we got away from like depending on ourselves and like depending on technology. And it was like a total disconnect, mind fuck, And
we don't even make or grow anything here anymore. Like, it's ridiculous. We import everything and we give away all of our business and manpower and, and trade of the almighty dollar and all this bullshit. And that's ourselves, but anyway.
Great time to produce.
We're going to be bringing it back, made in America again.
Yep. It's a great time to be
homegrown.
This is a great time to be alive. Like, it really is.
We chose to be here.
Like, I love the fact that we at Crops can produce a farmer's market. Now, at these farmers markets, this was the first time I was able to explore, whereas though here you had entrepreneurs who put their heart and soul into the things that they actually produce. And these were things that they produced. You know what I mean? You're not going to actually find this on a Walmart or half of the store shelves that are shutting down. You can't find half of the bullshit that you used to buy from them anyway. You know what I mean? Like that's another thing that I acknowledge. These Walmarts and all these big corporations, they come in and just taking out the small entrepreneur. You know what I mean? Here it is now. I feel like farmers markets are like the thing. Like that's where it's at. You know what I mean? We're getting back to that merchant way of how we did business. And I trust that we can start, incorporating the bartering system. You know what I mean? Because the the bad lingo over the energy that comes from money that they have put upon people is so bad. Like it's like we got to get away from that. You know what I mean? Like we have to shift. We have to shift our energy. You know what I mean? Because look
I
at what they're doing now. They're doing it now, whereas though the dollar doesn't even exist anymore, and now you have bitcoins. You have imaginary fucking money now. You know what I mean? So I mean the dollar was imaginary too. It was a debt note. Now that I come to find out, you know what I mean, I realize now, you know what I mean, we were actually the actual currency. We were
True.
actually, that, and the real actual money was actually gold and silver. I acknowledge that now, but like it's crazy how people are acknowledging that the means of exchange is turning into like thin air. It doesn't even exist. You know what I mean? Bitcoin doesn't exist. There's nothing you can exchange on the internet. Like there, you can't exchange. There's not a medium of exchange. So now you understand, like the end game has end for them. So now it's time for the people who want to get back to nature, back to, you know what I mean, where it needs to be. Let's get back to it. And for me, it's like that's where I'm like producing. I'm producing. I'm going to produce, a healing process, whereas though everybody is, when you come to my farm, you're going to be healed. Like one way or the other, you're going to be healed. And I trust that it'll teach people how to, heal themselves, because that's what it ultimately comes down to, learning how to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree. I love like the whole trade and barter thing. I do that. I've been doing that for years as I've healed myself, as I've grown my business. It's something that I've honored for a long time. We're going to continue to honor as we grow our business. It's part of the reason we created Cigatas as a business, so that we can write our own rules as much as possible and change the way we operate and share energy with one another, and honor that and what that looks like.
Yeah, that's how you build relationships. You know what I mean? And that's what's really important about being on this soul plane. I realize you want to build relationships with people. You know what I mean? Because it's not necessarily of what people have. Is it's really about, just those relationships you have with people. And the crazy thing about it, shout out to my boy Kanye West, because he did an interview on Drink Champs, and he spoke on like relationships, and he spoke on how it's best for him to have relationships than have money, because he can walk into a place, you know what I mean, and you know what I mean, dash out the money, you know what I mean, but they'll still treat him like shit, you know what I mean. But if he got a relationship with them, you know what I mean, they'll just tell him to walk in and he ain't got to pay for anything. So it's really important about how we treat each other as human beings while we're here on this planet. And that's what it all ultimately boils down to. And we have to understand, like, we really are at war, and it's a war against humanity. And look, we gotta fight for a simple plant. You know what I mean? Like it's like when you think of something as simple as that, you don't think like people are out here fighting for their lives on a daily basis. You know what I mean? Like I even myself have been deemed, you know what I mean, in their eyes as a criminal, and I have not committed a crime at all. So, you know, like when it all boils down to it, it's like we gotta really wake up. We really do gotta wake up. And hopefully Mama Kenna, you know what I mean, will help us with that, you know. But it's really sad because how the Matrix does it, it's so how easily how people can get, you know, led astray, you know what I mean? Because look how they commercialize and the shit out of the, you know, the herb, you know what I mean? Like it's like for me, like I get mad at like the bud man when he starts going up on prices, but I'm like, yo, the bud ain't changed. Like, so why you going up on fucking prices? You know what I mean? So, you know, like for me, that's another reason why I'm growing my own shit. Fuck y'all. I'm not paying $100 for an eighth. Like, no, I'll just grow my own shit. I'll take the time. I'll take the patience. I'll learn. I grow it myself. Thank you.
Hell yeah.
And that's just it. Once you learn once you learn your own resources, this is part of creating like sustainability and what it is you actually need. Like part of my barter and trade, like I'm really lucky and sometimes I'll trade with people who grow and things like that. And
Exactly.
it's beautiful and it's amazing. And I have my little bit of medicine that I need for me to sustain me for a while. And I know it's grown with like angelic Reiki light and incredible nutrients and soil and like energy. And I'm like, that's great. And that'll sustain me and that'll meet my needs. And like, I don't need, you know, all this stuff. And like contributing to that is just, it is, you're right. It's rough energy. So the best and most rebellious and beautiful and peaceful thing that we can do is learn how to grow it ourselves and nurture it ourselves.
Fucking ground. It's a fucking plant.
Okay, all right. I love that shit. It's a fucking plant. Like, and I mean,
t-shirt that says that, right, Kendra?
Yeah.
Yes, I gotta purchase the t-shirt. I meant to purchase it for the class tonight, but I didn't get enough time. But I'm getting my fucking t-shirt. But let me tell you, like, you see the simplicity in it.
Yeah.
And and they have made it so difficult for us. So we have to understand, like, like if y'all can make this simple plant so hard to deal with, what else y'all think they fucking with us with?
What else you fucking think they're doing?
All right.
It's
a whole bunch of, oh, believe me. And when you get into that rabbit hole, you be like, oh, goddamn. They after every goddamn thing. Goddamn, they after everything. I mean, everything. Like, and this is what people gotta understand. And this is what people gotta understand. Like, they are really invading your privacy, your intellectual property, your body.
Flooding us with opioids, but telling us that fucking cannabis, marijuana, fucking plant is the problem.
I know, right? Well, then, okay, so let's talk about the medical industry, right? So we already know that's a whole business from commerce that they literally pay people to have studies to go out and lie about bullshit. Like doctors will lie about bullshit. That's a whole other like industry that, like that's I said, it's part of the rabbit hole. You know what I mean? Like that's, but what it ultimately boils down to is like our rights are being violated. Like, and the people have to ultimately understand it. Like, so in order for you to protect your rights, you do ultimately have to understand the Constitution and how it protects you against them. And then, you know, you have to it does go into where you have to understand the chronologically of events. You have to know like when shit actually went down. You know what I mean? Because I'm even finding out, you know, like people who we think are authority, they really are actors. They really aren't the authority. They've been playing a role as if they're in a position, but they shouldn't be, and they shouldn't be because the people don't know. The people have fallen asleep throughout the years of them, like, you know, they've been putting us to sleep. They've been putting us to sleep.
Most people are good intentioned and good hearted. They just don't know.
Yeah.
Not aware.
You've been drinking the fluoride.
Well, yeah, I mean every fucking thing: fluoride, chicken wings, collard greens, pig feet.
Oh fuck.
The beef the chicken, the egg.
The
Well,
hormones,
drink
the hormones in the milk, dude.
drink your herbal
Fucking
tea is
suck.
all we gotta say about that. Drink that tea.
The
Make your drink.
sugar, all the
I know.
sugar.
I think that
I literally have some roasted dandelion here right now.
Oh, I love that. I love dandelion tea.
yeah.
And I have all of these fun things as we were talking. Like, I should do like an impromptu thing. So like I met at the Boardwalk Buds, which was amazing. And we'll be back at that event. I met this amazing group of people, an individual, Free My Weed Man, and their mission, Free My Weed Man, they're up out of Philly. Free My Weed Man is a movement to raise awareness on the economic, social disparities between commercial and legal cannabis markets. So that's pretty cool. Little resource to
Yeah,
check out.
we love Free My Weed, and that Boardwalk Buzz event was the shit. Let me tell you, like, I had never experienced anything like that in my life, right? So 3 days of getting high at an event that, like, my mother, when I told her what was going down, she couldn't believe it. She was like, "You mean to tell me they just had the bud just sitting out there just being sold like that?" I'm like, "Yeah, Mom, you missed out on it." You know what I mean? So it was definitely, I can't wait till Atlantic City brings more events like that to the area. Like, I think it was very good for the area. Like, just
It
a
was.
peaceful event. Yeah. I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, I'm glad. Good plug. And I'm good. I can't wait and look forward to meeting the Weed Man.
Lots more co-creations coming in the future here, and so many more guests coming on Toke and A Talk, and people we've been meeting and connecting with, and it's gonna be good. It's a good year. And if you're looking for Christmas presents or stocking stuffers, the lovely Kendra Hamill in front of us has tons of crystal grids that she makes and she has on sale in Higher Self Healing. This is what one of them looks like, our sea goddess.
I like.
She's got lots of crystals and options and things and cute little bags and awesome stuff. And you can now book with her online on Higher Self Healing page on Sea Goddess Healing Arts. And our friend Jessie May, if you need some protection, she makes these organite mermaid tails and other things. And she's here in New Jersey, and she's got all kinds of cool things. Our buddy Simone Squared made these amazing shungite earrings for me.
them.
Right?
Yeah,
They're super
beautiful.
protected and healing. I love them. Rachel 13 makes all kinds of amazing, awesome amulets and designs and things to protect and heal you. Miss Ty, how can people get a hold of you or follow you or buy something from you or simply support you or follow you? How can people get a hold of you if they're liking your energy, sister?
Well, beautiful people, I can be reached on IG through my mobile service, spa service I have, Love Your Soul Therapy. Also, I believe through crops. Of course, I would, encourage anybody from the area, anybody who, wants to get involved with just revolutionizing your community and utilizing those spaces to, beautify it for the community. So, people can basically be more self-sufficient. You know what I mean? Want to educate yourself. You don't have to depend on a so-called government. You know what I mean? You have your own family. Your family should be your community. So, we want to be able to provide, education on things of that nature. So you can check us out on Crops, I believe, _NJ on IG or on Facebook, just Crops, CROPS. Yes. On Facebook. So yeah, that's how you can get in touch with me. So I appreciate it, ladies. This was definitely a fun experience for me. I'm looking forward to more of the Toke and Talk. Because
back on.
Mama Cannon want to keep blessing us. I'm going to keep talking about it because, like I said, I want to protect her at all costs. We got to protect Mother at all costs because if we do not protect Mother at all costs, then it won't be no future. Point blank period.
Yeah. So true.
Absolutely. Kendra, how can people follow you or get a hold of you? And do you have any last words?
Yeah, well, people can follow me on Instagram. It's at Camtastic. My Facebook is just my name, Kendra Hamill. And you can always find me through the Sea Goddess website as well, seagoddesshealingarts.com, where you can book a service with me, like Mandee said. Check out some of my crystal grids. Our Sea Goddess newsletter that just came out, I offered a free crystal distance Reiki healing. So I made a grid and there's a picture of it, and you just kind of followed along. And that's my gift to anybody who's interested in a distance crystal healing from me this year. I've just been super blessed, and I just love being able to, at this time of year right now, I'm just really counting my blessings. I'm very grateful. I'm very happy. I'm so grateful for this show. I'm grateful for Sea Goddesses, and I'm also so grateful for guests, and meeting Ty tonight was awesome. So I appreciate you being on here, and I can't wait to meet you in person. Like, I'm hoping when I get up there for Christmas that we run into each other.
Of course, girl, I want my book.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Oh,
Hell
good. I
yeah.
can give it to
Hell yeah.
guests. So I'm hand delivering that book. Perfect.
Hey,
Um,
we gonna take this full on, my sister.
I mean, I'll go old school with you, and we'll smoke a Dutchie or something when I'm up there.
Hey,
You know what I mean? That would be great. That'd be awesome. And the other thing is I wanted to say was, Mandee, happy belated birthday. You just had a birthday.
Aw, thanks,
Happy
sister.
solar return, beautiful.
Sorry I missed it, but I will celebrate with you when I see you. And this year, or what I want to do is have anybody who we're going to have you comment, like, and share our video on Facebook. That's going to enter you into a Christmas giveaway that we're doing. So you could check out seagoddesshealingarts.com and scroll down. And I believe it's under the Higher Self Healing page, which is my page. You can check the t-shirt out that we're gifting for Christmas to one of our viewers. We appreciate anybody just spreading the word, just, allowing people to tune in and check out for a minute and get some fucking common sense, and we'll talk about a goddamn plant. It's that simple. And if you get it, we'd love to have you as a guest, like Mandee said. So that's about it. But thank you, and hopefully we'll be coming back on for another show soon.
We sure will. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Give us a like, a share, a follow. Oh my gosh. Mama Canna is present right there. And I think we should all just take a moment to take a breath and a bow to Kendra and to Ty and to Mama Canna for sharing their beautiful love and healing energy with us tonight.
Ashe. Peace and love to all.
Oh, yeah.
Peace and love to all. Until next time. Ta-ta.
Ta-ta.